Hey friends, happy Thursday, C-Note here. I just wanted to talk about preparation because this weekend is San Diego Comic-Con. It actually started last night and the first full day is today, and I won't be able to go, unfortunately, which will be torturous. I have to go to work and collect that money. I haven't been at work long enough to collect PTO, so I need to be a good boy and show up to work. And I've got a project that I'm currently working on that also involved a lot of preparation. I'm kind of in the execution stage right now. So that's something I like to talk about as well. But programming note, I'm going to do what I can this weekend to continue to do this every day. But I will be at Comic-Con, so maybe the scope of what I'm talking about might change, and the level of noise involved might change depending on what location I'm at. Maybe I'll post little bits of some panels that I go to, things like that. But if you want to follow the full experience, I will be posting plenty on different social channels. At Rival My Design is my handle for pretty much everything: Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And also I'll be posting on Future Boy Media, which is my photo and video channels. So Future Boy Media on Instagram is mostly where that will be. And then later on in the weekend, likely early next week, I'll be posting a full video breakdown of everything that I saw at Comic-Con. So to do that stuff involves a lot of preparation. I need to make sure I have enough batteries, make sure I have enough of the stuff that I need. I have backup batteries, I've got SD cards that I got to make sure that are empty and ready to go. Make sure that I have a schedule for charging things, making sure that my files are in place and that I have enough storage space to dump the files every night, and make sure I have a clean slate every day, so that I can smoothly and quickly edit these photos and get them online. If you go to futureboy.media, that's where the photos are going to go. You can see photos from past iterations of Comic-Con, which is a good time. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of great photos, and it's like the Comic-Con to go to. I mean, if you've never been to San Diego Comic-Con, still go to your local Comic-Con. Like, that'll have the same essence, the same vibe of what this is. It's a few days of pure joy. It's nerd heaven, but I mean, and people say nerd, but like, everyone's a nerd these days, right? It's like the popular thing to do. So it's general pop culture fun. It's a lot of great artists. There's a lot of great companies sharing their products and toys and posters, and it's a place where your wallet is not safe. There's a lot of great video games being shown. I love going to check out Nintendo. That's a lot of fun and a real good time. And then for this project that I'm working on this week, I've already got 2 iterations of it done, but that's because we did a lot of preparation ahead of time. We did a lot of storyboarding. We worked through a lot of concepts. I have a lot of images, or a lot of stock footage downloaded that I'm using, and I only wanted to show stock footage that I had available to use. Like, I didn't want someone to fall in love with an image or a type of imagery and then say, oh, well, that's just a mock-up, I can't actually use it. So being pragmatic about that approach has helped me hit the ground running when it's time to execute. So we got these concepts approved on Tuesday, and then yesterday I knocked out 2 of those concepts, and I feel pretty good about it. We're going to review 2 of those internally today with my immediate team members and see where we can improve things. Waiting for some writing for the content team, but for the most part, just kind of threw it together. Didn't take too much time, took about a half day each. And then there's this last concept, which is going to be more motion graphics heavy. That's going to take a little bit more time, but the fact is the preparation allowed me to really dive in when the going got tough. You know, when it was time to like execute, no matter my mental state, no matter what I have going on in my life, I wanted to make the execution process as easy, painless, and still retain high quality as possible. That sense didn't make sense, but I think it made sense. So when you have a big project or something coming up, like preparation in all sense is going to be your savior. It's going to help you get all the shots you need and everything you need for the event coming. Preparation makes the most sense in a long-term context when you know you have an event coming up or a vacation or a big project. But you can use a lot of those skills of preparedness in everyday, regular tasks. For me, I haven't been doing so much lately, but for me it helps to prepare by setting out my clothes the night before, because I know I'm a terrible morning person and I don't want to be making too many decisions in the morning. My brain power is just not quite there yet. And as I speak, I feel like I'm getting warmed up. It's going to take a little bit of time. I'm on my way to work, but when I get there, I kind of just talk to people and I check my email, and I'm not very active until maybe about 10 a.m. at minimum. So I try to keep my brain power usage to a minimum in the morning. Therefore, that preparation, that making sure I have a routine is super important. And I would also recommend that you look at other aspects of your life that could use a little bit of preparedness. Maybe you're a designer and you don't know all the tricks that you need to, so you just start thinking about the things that you should work on. Keyboard shortcuts. Thinking about the project before you even start it, like what sizes do you need, what layout do you need, what are the outline, the pieces that you need. I see too many designers just kind of jumping into Photoshop without thinking about what they're going to do next. And while that's fun if you're just creating art, it's not so fun if you're trying to create something pragmatic and you've got a guideline and someone to report to. Sometimes you need to take the time up front to sketch it out, talk to people, have conversations, figure out what the outline, what the goals are, what the main ideas are that need to be met, and then prepare your files. Give yourself situations where it's super easy to know where to save your files, know where to access your files, name your files so that they're easy to get to. Naming is so huge, especially when you can search for your files pretty quickly on both Mac and PC. Naming your files something that is easy to follow. I like to follow a naming scheme that follows the file structure. So if it has a overarching project name or client name, I'll use that first, like a 3-letter code, and then I'll do underscore and then the category. So if it's like Rival Design Studio and then posters, I'll do RDS underscore poster underscore, and then if there's multiple versions or characteristics, so it's underscore green or underscore 001. I like to use 001, meaning 3-digit codes, even if I don't plan to use over 100 codes, because it's easy to identify with your eyes. It's easy to look at. It's easier than V1 or 01. 001 will stick out easily in most situations. So that's why I use it. So it's kind of like know yourself, know your brain, know what makes you work, understand your triggers, and what will get you to the next step. So prepare yourself in that way. It's a little unorthodox. It's not the traditional sense of preparing yourself, but it's like being prepared every day. If you have to think about your file structure, where your files go, how to name your files, and how to do certain things every day, that's going to be wasted energy on stuff that doesn't matter. It ultimately doesn't matter every single day. If it's something that you could take time up front, get it done in a meaningful way that will be easy to comprehend going forward, because you understand yourself and your brain and how that works and how you work, that you'll be able to get yourself into a good spot every day. You'll be able to just focus on execution, and that's really the goal. Setting yourself up so that you can just sit down and execute when it's time to execute. You're not crossing the streams. You're not trying to figure things out still. You know what you're doing. You know what you need to accomplish. You know the goals. You know the expectations. And you can do nothing but execute on that because of all that. Because of the preparation. If you've been dying to start that podcast about doves, or about your favorite jacket, or about a long-lost love, or a murder mystery about a cat who murdered everybody, you can start it now on Spotify for podcasters. I've been on Anchor for a long time, and now it is officially Spotify for podcasters, and it has been a platform that has been growing for forever. And I love it, and I still use it to this day, and it has hosted this podcast for 500 plus episodes now. So I highly recommend it. It is free to use. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer. So no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. I'm literally on my bed recording on my, the phone is on the bed, and I'm just talking, and it's not that complicated. And then you can distribute your podcast on Spotify and everywhere else that podcasts are heard. So video podcasts are available too if you want to show your pretty face and have people see you. And you can do all that too. So just do it. It's totally free. No catch. Give it a try. Spotify for podcasters. Let's go.
As if the McCrispy couldn't get any better, Bacon and Ranch just entered the chat. The Bacon Ranch McCrispy. Available at participating McDonald's for a limited time. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
This episode is brought to you by Vonage. Is your business ready to integrate live video chats into your app? The Vonage Video API makes it simple for developers to build custom solutions that make sense for your business. From providing faster tech support and better customer service to hosting more productive meetings and classes, live video enhances every conversation. Go live on your terms with Vonage. Learn more at Vonage.com.
I always love having the opportunity to just execute on the things I want to do. I don't want to think about the process so much. I don't want to think about politics when it comes to a work situation. I don't want to think about someone trying to ruin me or the drama or the bullshit. I just want to work. I just want to get stuff done. I want to create things. I want to make a business grow. I want to make my business grow. I want to make my client's business grow. And that focus, I think, is what a lot of young kids should have. I think that's what a lot of businesses should have. Let's start with the young kids aspect. A lot of people feel like they have to step on other people to climb to the top, that their ambitions lie on ascending to a certain title. There are a lot of young people who come up with an idea and they call themselves an entrepreneur or an owner or a founder because it's fancy, because it's like the new thing to do. I wouldn't say it's new, it's really the past 5 years, but you've seen Mark Zuckerberg do it, you've seen all these CEOs, Airbnb and Uber and all these people, and there's a ton of apps out there, and somebody puts out an app or they put out a service or they create a logo and suddenly they're a CEO, and it just doesn't work that way. Even I'm not successful by any means. I'm not making any money with my side projects, so I don't consider myself an owner or founder. And why should you listen to me? Because I failed a million times, and I watch people, and I see how I'm observing the world around me. So my view is from an observant point of view. It's kind of like an actor who didn't quite have the talent to be an actor, but knew all the skills. That's kind of where I come from. So as a young person, young designer, young whatever, out of school, it's important to focus on the work. The work will get you there, because if you go to a job and you're so focused on rising the ranks and getting to the top, by the time you get to the top or close to the top, something happens and it doesn't work out. You've missed all of the soft skills that it takes to be a productive person. Meaning, if you just get fired from your job, the only skill you have is trampling on people to get to the top. And not every business appreciates that. Most good businesses these days don't appreciate that anymore. They're starting to learn that people are what matters. And in your career, you should focus on that first. Just like large businesses who have, or really any business who have employees, should focus on the people first and foremost. They should really look at the relationships that people have with each other, how they work naturally, how they fit naturally with each other. Are they interested in each other's lives in a positive way? Do they make a lot of jokes but still get their work done? Those are the kind of environments that you want. The reason that a lot of people focus on culture is because happy people do good work. It's not just sitting at a computer for 10 hours a day and being miserable. That's not an effective use of time. I personally, if you're only working 4 hours a day, but you're getting a week's worth of work done in 4 hours, then do that. That's kind of how I work, personally. I like sleep a lot. I like making sure to take care of myself. And then I feel like with my processes, with my preparedness, with the way I approach things, I get so much done in a shorter amount of time than a lot of people do. So that's how I approach things. That's because I take care of myself in the way that businesses should be taking care of their people. And young designers and young people should be taking care of themselves, but also cultivating relationships, getting to know people, getting to know your bosses, and not trying to steal their job or trounce on people, or be you can be the best, but not be the best at the detriment of somebody else who's better than you. Just focus on your skills, because if you don't have a job, if something goes under, then you can use those skills in different areas of life to start your own business, to freelance for a while, keep yourself afloat. But a CEO is useless without a company. And if you lose your company, then what are you going to do? So focus on your skills and yourself and learning about people. So get out there and get some stuff done. That's my mantra. Just go do things. But the point of this podcast is to let you know that preparedness is what allows you to get things done. Any TV show you see, any movie you see, any YouTube video where somebody is showing you something or having an interview or taking photos, all of that takes preparedness. You've got to make sure you have the right equipment, you have the right skills, you have the right people in place, you have the right lighting, you have the right story, you have the right thing to talk about. And having those things in mind and knowing those things like the back of your hand will help you execute to your fullest. So I honestly urge you to focus on that. Be prepared every single day as best as you can. Because when you're just sitting there twiddling your thumbs, wishing that you just knew what to do instead of preparing, learning skills, learning new things, putting things in place, naming your files, getting to know the right people, all of those things fall into the preparedness category. And then before you know it, you just know how to execute. That's all you know how to do. And you'll be soaring like crazy. And that's where I feel like personally I'm starting to get to, where I've been preparing all of my life to get to know more people, to learn more skills, to be more of a mentor, to teach young designers, and really teach anyone who doesn't understand social media or humans or design, anything like that. I feel like I'm at a place where I can comfortably talk about it and share it with people, and that's where my value comes in. And I hopefully you feel that way too, and you appreciate it. And for that, I hope you would go to himynameischristian.com, check out my work, sign up for the newsletter. I haven't written anything in a while, but I will soon, I promise. And be on the lookout at Rival My Design and Future Boy Media on all the social channels for Comic-Con stuff this weekend. It's going to be real exciting. There's going to be a lot of trailers dropping. I'm real stoked we'll see some Justice League stuff. We'll see some Marvel stuff. Hopefully they'll post that Avengers teaser that people have been talking about. And, maybe I'll talk about it on this for a little bit. I've also been thinking about, and I'm curious to hear your perspective, turning Future Boy Media into something where I talk about nerd culture a little bit. I used to have this thing called Super Rocket Punch, where it was sort of this gaming channel that I was trying to start, but I just didn't have the hardware to play enough games that I wanted to play. So I'm thinking of melting that, combining that into Future Boy Media, and from there using that as a means to talk about superhero movies and other bits of gaming and other bits of nerd culture. Maybe make some comparisons to some of the life advice stuff that I'm talking about, share photos from events, video, things of that nature, and sort of do a podcast like this, but is more nerd culture focused. I think it could be fun. And Future Boy, as I mentioned in my first podcast here, was about is the name derived from Back to the Future, when Doc Brown refers to Marty McFly as Future Boy. So I really like the name, and I thought it was fun. So, and I'm sure it's been used, but I like it, and I'm using it. Whatever, don't care. So, if you're listening on the podcast, this is the end of this episode for today. I appreciate your following and listening and subscribing and liking and all those fun things. If you, again, go to all my social channels at Rival My Design. If you're not listening on Anchor or subscribed on Anchor, which is how I'm recording and posting this, go to anchor.fm/Christian-Rivera, and then you can call in and talk to me, and I can post your call in on the air, and we can talk about things, and it'll be a jolly good time. So be on the lookout for more things. I appreciate your support, and go out there, prepare first, and then go out there and kill it.